Welcome inside Turner Gymnasium from Wayne Prophet Court tonight, where we've got an ODAC first-round matchup featuring the Hornets of University of Lynchburg and Hollins University. Hello to you and yours. Welcome inside the nest high above Turner Gymnasium. I'm Joe Hutzler. He is Dr. Aaron Smith. And a quick turnaround for both of these teams. Regular season just finished on Saturday. Now it's time to regroup and get gathered for what they hope to be a playoff run. What can we expect from each of these teams this evening on such a quick turnaround?
Right. Well, I think that you're still going to see that energy and the enthusiasm from both teams, even though it's a short turnaround, as you mentioned. Hollins kind of limping into this game, losing their last four. Lynchburg losing its last regular season game against Randolph-Macon as well. But both teams know at this point it's do or die, and they've got to win if they want to advance to Salem.
Well, let's look a little bit more at the season totals as far as numbers are concerned, a chance to really illustrate some of the points that we'll be making throughout the contest. You see Hollins almost the same as Lynchburg in points per game, but really if you dig deeper, it's the points in the paint. That's where Hollins struggles defensively. It's what helped Lynchburg win the last time, and it's what's helped every opponent in the last four games defeat Hollins as well.
Well, you're right about that, and it's no secret that Lynchburg tries to play inside out, and they've been able to do so successfully against Hollins and against a number of other teams in this ODAC tournament. So Hollins had to game plan for this because it's not like they haven't seen this team in this gym before this season.
This will be the third meeting between the Hornets and Hollins tonight, and it has an opportunity for one of these teams to advance to the quarterfinals on Thursday. We'll get more to that in just a few minutes, but first let's talk about our starters and our players to watch this evening.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Good luck, guys.
Excellent job by Bobby Neverez, the sophomore track star here at University of Lynchburg. And now we are ready to introduce the starters and our players to watch for both squads here tonight. The Hollins squad and Lynchburg, there are your starting five for each team coming into today's contest. Number 8 versus number 9 in the ODAC standings. Strange, Litton, Searles, Tyler, and Taylor, your starting five for Hollins. And it'll be Quarles, Davis, Noe, Chambers, and Kolb, the starting five for Lynchburg. Let's first take a look at the player to watch for Hollins. You got to talk about Kayla Searles. She has been the leader for this squad all year long. She's sitting back there on the chairs right now, but she'll be coming out in just a moment. 18 points in the last game of the regular season. She leads the squad in points per game and assists, Aaron, and every game this year she has been the dominant force for the green and gold.
Well, she absolutely has, and you see her right there in the center of your screen dancing and getting along with her players, and those assists are no small feat because that keeps the team together and make sure that they're scoring as well.
Kind of odd as well that we see someone top scorer and the top assist disher on the squad, but certainly not odd if you're Hollins because you're used to it with Swirls. Lizzie Davis, the player to watch for University of Lynchburg, 18.7 rebounds in that loss to Randolph-Macon, and she kept the turnovers at a minimum as well. Might have been her best game all year.
Yeah, absolutely, and no dancing for Davis. She is a no-nonsense player for sure. She comes out. She's always an X factor in my book, and you can see her there with her introduction. And Lizzie Davis, She can do it on both ends of the court, and again, she will be a big factor in this game, the outcome of this game.
The second of 2 first-round games for the ODAC women's basketball tournament taking place right now. The first game is about to finish up. Number 7 Guilford leads number 10 Virginia Wesleyan 61-34 late in the fourth quarter down in Greensboro, North Carolina. The winner of that, which looks like it'll be Guilford, will play number 2 seeded Washington and Lee on Thursday. The winner of this game will play number 1 Emory and Henry at 1 p.m. on Thursday from the Salem Civic Center in Salem, Virginia. This is a matchup that we've seen twice this season. Lynchburg taking both a 13-point victory back in November, and then here at home, it was an even larger defeat for Hollins, 84-46 on January 29th. But Coach Dunton was not here then. She is on the sideline now. They are at full strength as far as injuries are concerned. Their head coach is here, and they are ready to make a statement in their first ODAC tournament since the 2015-2016 season.
Well, Hollins, Coach Dunton has done a phenomenal job with this program, and you mentioned, and you can see the energy now for Hollins already, even at the tip-off, and they're ready to play, even though it was a 34-point defeat the last time these two teams got together. Hollins said, you know what, we're going to come and turn a gymnasium and try to get first W in a lot of years in this ODAC tournament.
It'll be Lynchburg starting with possession. Hornets winning 3 of their last 4. Dishing into Quarles. And now Kolb for a long 2 opens up the scoring.
Nice curl there by Quarles, which opened up Kolb on the perimeter. And that's a nice looking shot to start the game.
Hollins' chance on the offensive end. Strange drives, misses the layup.
Noe with the rebound. Excellent job at taking care of the ball, and a lot of time she serves as a spot-up shooter, but we saw she is capable of doing a tremendous amount on the court. It always puts a lot of pressure on the defense once a guard or a forward is able to get the rebound and push the ball up the court. So she serves as about the 4 on this team. It's great when she can get the rebound and push.
Lynchburg goes back to work. Chambers dishes to Noe in the corner. Kolb looks inside to Quarles, finds her. One more pass, too many. And it goes back to Hollins.
And Kolb trying to get fancy on him with that pass between the defender's legs, and one more pass, too many.
There is Coach Dunton in her second season with Hollins. Played at Randolph College, graduated in 2015, so she's a newbie when it comes to coaching, but not when it comes to playing in the ODAC.
Yeah, and her dad has coaching in his blood. Her dad, Randy Dunton, was coach at Liberty University for a number of years for a men's basketball program there too. So he said not a stranger to coaching at all.
Back-to-back possessions with turnovers for Lynchburg. Coach Isaac Smith looking on in her 10th season with the program, trying to get to the quarterfinals yet again. And possibly be a team that shakes things up.
And I think she has the personnel that might be able to do it. You know, all season, Joe, they've been looking for consistency on both sides of the basketball, and when they're consistent, I mean, we saw the energy against them against Randolph-Macon just their last game, and they played extremely well there.
Great defense here by the Hornets. 2 seconds to shoot. Searles puts it up, and it's short. Hollins still looking to answer with some points, but Lynchburg not helping themselves. 2 turnovers in the last 2 possessions.
Yeah, and that's something that they want to do. They certainly want to take care of the ball, and when they're able to do that, they can compete with any team in this conference.
Noe, long 3, too strong. Kolb with the rebound, and they'll reset out top.
Well, good rebound there by Kate Kolb. Waiter chased the ball down. And another foul by Hollins.
That was Kayla Searles who reached in on Chambers. Jada Chambers. Now it's Noe back inside. Kolb has the height advantage and takes full advantage of the situation.
Well, you can expect to see a whole lot more of that throughout this game. And you saw as soon as Kolb got the ball, it actually was a triple team, but she was able to catch the ball high, keep it high, and score with her left hand.
Pull-up jumper for Kiesha Taylor, no good.
Lynchburg trying to get out in transition against this Hollins team. Hollins is quicker than they have been in the past, and Chambers in the corner for three, and that's an excellent find and an excellent shot.
Chambers with just her 7th made three-pointer of the year. And it's a 7-point lead for Lynchburg. Hollins still looking for their first bucket. Litton driving off the glass, just a bit short, gets her own rebound. They've had good chances under the basket, just haven't been able to get it high enough off the glass to find the bottom of the net. Meanwhile, Kayla Searles' floater, too strong.
And Chambers has come away with a number of rebounds on the defensive end, and Lynchburg has just done a phenomenal job on the glass in general, holding Hollins to 0 rebounds thus far.
Chambers didn't make the headlines with her point totals in that game on Saturday against Randolph-Macon, as Lizzie Davis is going to go to the free throw line for Lynchburg, but she did have 8 rebounds and 6 assists against one of the top teams in the conference. As a freshman, she has certainly grown a lot this year and will look to be an important factor for the Hornets moving forward.
Well, she certainly is, and I like the confidence that she shot the ball with in the corner. You mentioned that was only her 7th made three of the season, but she caught the ball in the corner and shot it like that's what she was supposed to be doing.
Meanwhile, Lizzie Davis, a 67% free throw shooter on the season, was 6 of 10 on Saturday and 2 for 2 here on Monday night.
And I think if you're Coach Dutton at this point, it's a 9-0 lead. You're on the road. It's the first round of the playoffs. I'm not so sure how much longer she's going to be able to go without taking a timeout and helping this team regroup. Hollins has gotten some quality shots. They just haven't. Lynchburg's defense has been pretty good, but some of the shots have been quality, and you can't turn the ball over like that on the road already in a 9-point deficit.
That one for Hollins is just their first turnover. They are number 1 in the conference turnovers per game with just 15 every 40 minutes. As a foul is called, Kolb went inside, and Strange will be charged with her first. And it's the 4th foul against Hollins already, and we have not played 5 minutes.
Yeah, they are fouling a little too much here. 5:50 to go. You mentioned it. And the next foul is going to put Lynchburg on the line for 2.
Kate Kolb hits the first free throw. Took just 1 on Saturday and made that one. She's now 14 of 22 on the year. Just her 13th game played in her sophomore year after suffering lower body injuries to start the season. And right now, Lynchburg in full control, up by 11 to start this quarter. And Kayla Searles' sister, Keenan, checks in for the first time.
Well, I'm going to go back to something I said just a moment ago, Joe, that I don't know how much longer you can wait without a timeout regrouping. I don't know what message that sends to the team in terms of we're just going to ride this out, double-digit deficit. We haven't scored yet. I think Hollins could certainly use a timeout to regroup.
Clements with a great take, but she traveled when she spun around. Coach Dunton might be waiting for that media timeout that comes after 5 minutes of play.
It might be too late by then, Joe.
I'm not disagreeing with you, for sure.
It's a tough start for Hollins, for sure.
Davis had her shot blocked. Excellent job. Kiesha Taylor leads the team in blocks. Now has 51 on the year. Meanwhile, Clements regroups. And Hollins will go to work. Looking for their first points of the night. It's Kayla Searles. Misses the layup. Now Lynchburg runs it out. 2-on-2. Quarles cuts back inside. Quarles with the left hand. No good. Davis rebound. Put back. Got it. A chance at 3 for Lizzie Davis.
Excellent offensive rebound by Davis. Right place, right time off of that Quarles miss, and she gets the putback and a chance for 3 points the old-fashioned way.
Time to step aside. Lynchburg leads it 13-0. You're watching the ODAC Women's Basketball Tournament. First round coverage on LHSN. And we're back inside Turner Gymnasium on Wayne Prophet Court. Davis, Chambers, Quarles all chatting things over before we get back to action. Lizzie Davis is going to be shooting a free throw. She is 2 for 2 so far early. And Lynchburg, as a unit, 4 of 7 from the floor, and still perfect at the line as well as a team. 5 for 5.
And they've done an excellent job rebounding the basketball. 8 rebounds to 1 for Hollins, and that's how they've really built this lead.
Clements well short on a three-point attempt. For Lynchburg, they did sub in Abby Ogich and Aaron Green a moment ago. Great to see Abby back. She was not in attendance, not even in the building on Saturday, and ran into her this morning, and she mentioned that she had strep throat over the weekend, so that'll certainly keep you out of activities. And she is back and ready to make another big impact for her team. She is the leader in field goal percentage, rebounds, and assists for Lynchburg.
Well, she is a big loss against that Randolph-Macon team. Coach Patrick Smith and her staff, they have a tremendous big rotation, and Ogich is a large part of that. Her stats really kind of speak for themselves.
Deasia Taylor dishes inside to Strange. Now cross-court pass connects with Keaton Searles. She's not afraid to shoot the three. Hesitates twice, drives in, and will have an opportunity at the free throw line to help Hollins score their first point of the contest.
I think this is a good opportunity for Hollins here. You stop the clock. You haven't scored all game. Went the first 6 minutes of the game without a basket. Able to get their first point from the free throw line.
Just her 11th attempt, now her 12th coming up on the year. And she's 7 of 12. 2 for 2 on the night, and the first points for Hollins this evening. Lynchburg's offense goes back to work. Quarles, now Chambers, drives and kicks. Davis steps in, dishes to Ogich. One extra step is enough for her first bucket of the evening.
Yeah, good job there by Ogich, an excellent offense there against that zone defense by Hollins. Lynchburg still found a way to get the ball inside, even though it was packed in the paint with green.
Strange, Kayla Searles. Searles' sisters are on the floor together. Kayla. Not many options to go to, but Strange will put up a shot from the elbow. Rebounded by Aaron Green.
Another excellent defensive possession for the Hornets that ends in a contested long-range jumper.
Good movement. Quarles for three. Short. Put back. Easy for Green. No one around.
They forgot to box out the tallest player on the floor, and Aaron Green leads. Actually, I'm sorry, is second on the team in rebounds, 6.5 a game.
Here's Kayla Searles. Good take, but once again, just missing on that layup attempt. Long pass ahead. Clements saved it. Taylor will keep it with Hollins. Quarles, excellent defense. Coach Dunton is livid with the lack of foul calls for her team as Searles misses the three in the corner.
There has just been a cap on the rim for Hollins this evening. Thus far, only points coming from the free throw line, and they find themselves in a 16-point hole.
Under 2:10 remaining. Davis spins, dishes, Ogich, good.
It's a nice pass there by Davis. Nice spin move, dribbled inside, spun, found Ogich underneath inside. That was a nice pocket pass. Nice finish there by Ogich.
Strange. Foul by Davis. That's the second team foul called against Lynchburg. First on Davis. And Coach Dunton will make some substitutions on the floor. Serena Linton is back in. We'll also see Yasmin Taylor and Cheslin Owens for the first time. And Carolyn Noe also checks in for Lynchburg.
You know, again, you got to remember that this is still the first round of the tournament. And Hollins right now just struggling to find their way against this Lynchburg defense.
First shot attempt as she just stepped in the game for Tyler. Misses. Keenan with the rebound, and Tyler stuffed by Green. Owens makes a great play on that pass to poke it away. Hollins will reset with 30 on the clock. Keenan Searles, three from the wing. Too strong. Rebounded by Tyler. Forces one that's intercepted by Green.
Good showing on that particular possession by Hollins just to get additional rebounds as Lynchburg throws the ball out of bounds, and that'll be the 6th turnover for Lynchburg. So although they're still up by 18, 6 turnover is something to be a bit concerned about early in this game.
If not for affecting today's game, it could follow you to Salem on Thursday. If they are to win and face the Wasps of Emory and Henry, the number 1 seeded team in the tournament.
Lynchburg's defense certainly has looked the part thus far, holding Hollins to 0 for 13 shooting. And Coach Posick-Smith and her staff have to be excited about that.
Noe drives, kicks. Ogic on the block, off the glass. Once again, that recipe is a blue ribbon favorite at the fair.
Yeah, and she just overpowered the defender on that particular play, and Ogic just having her way out there on the court. 6 points for her.
Under 20 seconds to play in the first quarter. Litton, not enough. And Lynchburg can hold for the last shot. Quarles recognizes how much time's remaining. Green inside to Ogic, this time with the left hand, but she traveled first. And so Hollins will have an opportunity with 3.5 seconds to go. We'll look to put it in that girl's hands. Kayla Searles. Searles got it off. No good. First quarter in the books, all Lynchburg here in the ODAC women's basketball first round action. 22-2 after 1 quarter of play. Back in a moment for the second quarter of action.
I was looking for a school that could provide me with the athletics, academics to pursue my career, a wind symphony to pursue my passion for music, and really have a nice general atmosphere. The professors here are really unique, their background and their passion for teaching. It's really a place where you can explore. Lynchburg gives you the opportunity to fail, but also get back up in that period of time and learn from your mistakes. I can make these mistakes within the school environment, but also with the support of other friends, and be ready for the real world when you graduate.
First quarter of action in the books here from University of Lynchburg and Lynchburg, Virginia. Joe Hutzler and Dr. Aaron Smith on the call with you tonight. Happy you can start your week with us as basketball postseason is underway in Division III. The winner of this will play Thursday afternoon. They'll get the early game at 1 o'clock to take on Emory and Henry. Guilford already winners today, the 7th seed defeating the 10 seed of Virginia Wesleyan. And to start the second quarter, still problems for Hollins this time. Another foul. They did have 4 team fouls in the first quarter.
And Lynchburg was able to take advantage of that as well. That time that foul was on Tyler, and Lynchburg went 5 for 5 in that first quarter, getting themselves some nice points from the charity strike.
Davis, left-handed drive, nowhere to go. Good coverage by the Searles sisters. Chambers pulls up from 15, too strong. Litton with a rebound, poked away by Chambers. Ogich, Green, 2 more the easy way.
And I'll tell you what, that is easy, but great second effort there by Lynchburg and good find by Ogich over to Green for a practice layup.
Owens, pull-up jumper, not there. Green and Gold still searching for their first field goal. Owens, nice read, but it's Noe pulling it away. Misses the 3. And Hollins will try again. Litton driving, blocked by Ogich. Litton gets it back, and they'll reset.
Well, I like that thought process there by Hollins to try to push it in transition because they have gotten nothing at all, literally, no field goals out of their half-court offense.
Off the foot of Owens, Tyler picks it up. 5 to shoot. Kayla Searles steps back. Off the rim, in the hands of Noe.
I mean, that's tough. Again, hats off to Lynchburg's defense thus far, still holding Hollins to 0 field goals. 0 for 16 now, Hollins is. Great offense by Lynchburg. Finding Noe, that was Davis finding Noe for the curl cut around left hand, and Lynchburg's just getting whatever they want on the offensive end as well.
Tried something totally different that time that we haven't seen so far in the first half, and it worked to perfection. Carolyn Noe, the lone graduating Hornet on the floor and on the team, gets her first bucket of the evening. Ogich with that long rebound, gives to the trailing Noe, and now the offense goes back to work.
Well, you talk about Noe being the lone senior. It was senior day, their last home game they had, and Noe just wants to continue her playing career. And right now, Lynchburg looks like they're going to try to give her an additional game in this tournament.
Aaron Green hits it from long distance. And Coach Dunton will call a timeout. 7:18 to go. We'll step aside and come right back. Lynchburg in command, 29-2. You're watching the ODAC Women's Basketball first round coverage on LHSN.
To have a cadaver lab is a bit rare nowadays, just because other programs are going to more convenient forms of that kind of learning. So to be able to get your hands on actual bodies, to get your hands on actual structures that you know exist underneath the skin, but you don't quite have the concept of how they all work. Now in that class you can get the concept of how they work. And then being able to apply that directly to the clinical sites. So you'll go straight from class right into your clinical sites, and you'll be able to use everything that you've learned that day to be able to work with the kids directly with the athletes is the most rewarding part, is the most rewarding experience of it.
With over 100 local offices, Virginia Farm Bureau agents are part of your community. If you want insurance from a company that knows you, get to know us.
Reminder to connect with us at odaconline.com and on social media at ODAC Athletics for all things related to the Old Dominion Athletic Conference, all of your teams, all of your scores, schedules, stats. It's all in one location.
Hollins still looking for their first field goal. Good timeout there called by Coach Dunton, and they're getting inside this time and unfortunately still unable to get it to go.
It's interesting. Obviously, it's part of the narrative. We have to keep mentioning it, but they've taken more shots than Lynchburg has from the floor. It's not like they're not getting chances. They're just not capitalizing on those opportunities.
No, you're right. They haven't capitalized off of Lynchburg's turnovers either. 7 turnovers for Lynchburg. And Lynchburg has just dominated on the glass, really holding Hollins to one shot. Every time they go down the floor, Hollins only has five rebounds in comparison to 20 already, with 6 minutes to go in the second quarter.
And there we go. The drought is over. Lena Clements with the first field goal of the evening for Hollins. Good take by the freshman out of Emporia, Virginia. And you remember the last time they were here in January, we saw some things out of Clements, some great skills with the ball handling skills. She could be a really big key for Coach Dunton and the future of this Hollins team.
We definitely did. I recall that. And there she goes again. Leading the team in scoring, 4 points for her. So they bode well to continue to go for her as Searles has struggled just a bit from the field this game.
She had over 1,000 points at Greensville County High School, almost 2,000, 1,947 to be exact, did Clements. 2 more points for Kate Kolb right there. She has 8 points.
It's a nice move, nice inside again. Kate knows how to keep the ball high. She knows how to finish with the length, which is her advantage.
Clements step back 3 attempts. Too strong.
Well, you talked about her ball handling ability, and you don't expect that out of one of the bigs on the court, but that was a nice step back, nice pull back dribble to get her a wide open shot, just unable to get it to go.
1-on-1, Ogich dishes to Davis for 3. That's nothing but net. Lizzie Davis, not her strong suit, but she'll take it when they come.
No, and I'll tell you what, she's only shooting 20% on the season. That doesn't matter in the tournament. You just got to make shots. 8 points for her. Again, she's always an X factor.
Taylor Searles dishes. Nice one to Strange, who connects off the glass and in.
Excellent offense by Hollins on that play. Strange in the right place. Was able to get herself a wide open look. Hollins back in a 2-1-2 zone. Or actually, this might mess around and be a box and one on Kolb. It is.
Forcing Lynchburg to shoot outside, and they're okay with that. The Hornets have adjusted well here in the first half as Carolyn Noe picks up her first 3-pointer of the evening.
That is a strange play call for a box and one and putting Searles, one of the smallest players on the court, on to Kolb. Maybe trying to deny her the ball, make sure she doesn't put the ball down, but didn't work on that last possession.
Now they'll go inside to Ogich. Kolb, nowhere to go. Good work by Taylor. Ogich on Clements, kicks to Davis. 3 off the mark. And then Quarles with the rebound attempt is going to be charged with a foul. That'll be her first and Lynchburg's first of the second quarter.
Well, speaking of that, Hollins has done an excellent job of making sure they don't foul in this quarter. That got them in trouble in that first quarter. Only 1 team foul for Hollins, but they have a lot of scoring to make up for, down by 29.
Lynchburg makes changes. Sarah Johnson checks in for the first time, and Jada Chambers checks back in. Clements takes it to the rack, short, gets it back. Dishing to Taylor on the trail. Up over top of the outstretched arms of Kolb for her first bucket of the night.
Nice play, and you really have to give Clements a lot of credit on that particular play. She was able to find her teammate.
Davis finds Johnson, quickly getting points for the freshman out of Mechanicsville, Virginia. Clements, long 3, short.
We call that a heat check, and I'm not so sure that she's on fire to take that shot. That's nice again. Pullback dribble. Got herself a wide open 3, but when you haven't made a lot of field goals in the game, I'm not so sure that's the best shot that you're going to get on offense.
I wonder if there's something to be said, too, for someone just being confident for this Hollins team. Somebody showing confidence, even though they didn't make the shot, just being willing to take one at this point might be enough to help out their teammates.
Well, I would agree with that in general, and right. And look, you see she's been playing phenomenal defense as well, and she said, you know what, I got this and I can make this. So you need players that have that kind of confidence on the team because they a lot of times can get the team going.
Clements picks up her first foul. That's the third one charged to Hollins in the second quarter. Quarles, straight up drive, takes contact, and will head to the free throw line. Just quickly worked her way around Searles. And so now the junior from Roanoke, Virginia, will head to the free throw line for the first time, shooting 70.5% this year, and was 2 of 5 on Saturday night. Did not take a break on Saturday. Played all 40 minutes for Lynchburg against the Yellow Jackets.
Needed all of those minutes. Certainly was an iron woman that night.
And hits her first free throw, picks up her first point. of this night. And hits both.
Lynchburg in absolute command of this game, and they really have done that on the defensive end. Again, 24 rebounds, 20 points in the paint on the offensive end.
Litton pulls up. Foul's going to be charged to Sarah Johnson. And Serena Linton will head to the free throw line. You mentioned the points in the paint. Shenandoah, their last opponent for Hollins, had 30. Lynchburg, the last time around, had over 30. Actually, to be exact, I believe that I wrote this down. Yes, I did. 46 points in the paint for Lynchburg the last go around. They also had 22 points off of turnovers back in late January.
Well, it's a big part of big key to their success when they're scoring the ball at that clip. Excellent rebound there by Searles. They're scoring the ball at that clip in the paint. They're usually, really putting themselves in a position to compete.
Generally a pretty good free throw shooting team, 70% as a unit, but Linton missed both free throws. On the other end, Maggie Quarles looking like LeBron James last night, backing down Jalen Brown.
I was thinking the exact same thing, the old dream shake. She was watching some Lakers last night. That's an excellent shot by Quarles. That is not an easy shot either.
Keenan Searles, three is not there. Lynchburg's offense trying to get their way to half-century mark possibly before halftime. Kolb, good hands, reaching in there was Tyler, and ends up being a turnover against Lynchburg. So good effort by Yasmin Tyler under the basket.
You talk about their offense, Joe, and Lynchburg right now shooting 62% from the field, 100% from the line, and 50% from three. So Coach Posick-Smith has to be happy with that. All of those are over their season averages for sure.
Owens steps back in for Hollins. Annie Kelly checks in for the first time on Lynchburg's side of things. And Hollins still struggling from the floor. 1:09 remaining in the first half of play. All Hornets from the opening tip. It's 2-0 for about 90 seconds. And then the cup filleth over. Kolb gets her own rebound and collects two more. She's got 10 points.
Too big, too strong inside. Wasn't able to get the first one to go, kept her arms up, got that second rebound, and got the second one.
Keenan Searles has space, short on the jumper. Johnson pulls in the rebound.
Nice rebound by Johnson, getting it out of her area, which gives Lynchburg another opportunity to finish this half strong.
Coming up at halftime, we'll talk about what we saw, what we didn't see, go over some highlights, plus we'll take a look at the implications for tonight's game and the other ODAC tournament games this weekend. Traveling violation on Sarah Johnson. That is the one area that Lynchburg has not fared well. That's their 10th turnover.
Yeah, and against a team that's not putting a tremendous amount of pressure, Lynchburg has to make sure they take care of the ball because that Emory and Henry team is a tough team to play against.
With that sound, that means we are done in the first half of play. All Lynchburg here tonight, 45-10 at halftime. We're going to take a 5-minute break. When we come back, more from Turner Gymnasium. You're watching ODAC Women's Basketball first round coverage on LHSN.
Hi, Mara Willis. How are you? Pretty good.
A lot of people go to the universities to find something to be a part of while getting their education. And when you come here, Lynchburg is that something, it becomes a family. It doesn't matter how long ago you had your professor, they still remember you and they remember all of the hard work that you put in. They're always there for you and they always want to do the best that they can to help you succeed. Here, you learn how to love one another regardless of what's going on or what you believe. You leave here better than what you came in. It's what this school's really good at doing.
Okay.
Okay.
We're good.
See you later.
To have a cadaver lab is a bit rare nowadays, just because other programs are going to more convenient forms of that kind of learning. So to be able to get your hands on actual bodies, to get your hands on actual structures that you know exist underneath the skin, but you don't quite have the concept of how they all work. Now in that class you can get the concept of how they work. And then being able to apply that directly to the clinical sites. So you'll go straight from class right into your clinical sites, and you'll be able to use everything that you've learned that day to be able to work with the kids directly with the athletes is the most rewarding part, is the most rewarding experience of it.
Look what you're missing.
It really don't matter to me, I'm just happy to be here, I might go crazy.
First thing would definitely be make a plan and write it down. And, get with your classmates and put your brains together. One thing about a cohort style group, study group is perfect because when you put multiple brains together, you get a really good big brain. It gives us a great balance. It teaches us responsibility. It's never too easy, but we're put in a position where we're going to get better, we're going to learn, and we have to take time to get responsible and do the work, but we also have to learn how to manage our time with clinical rotations as well. But I think everything is well put together, as in the course load and as well as the clinical education, and when you put that together, you make great athletic trainers.
The Old Dominion Athletic Conference.
The Old Dominion Athletic Conference.
The Old Dominion Athletic Conference and its member schools
Ask you to support our shared goal by promoting positive sportsmanship in an exciting and respectful sporting environment.
We'd like to remind you to
Represent yourself and your school with pride.
Be a supportive influence.
Cheer for your team.
And please refrain from the use of profanity,
vulgarity, racial or sexist comments,
personal insults, and other intimidating actions directed at student athletes,
coaches, officials, and team representatives.
The ODAC thanks you.
The ODAC thanks you.
The ODAC thanks you for attending today's game.
Enjoy the great competition.
enjoy the competition.
Enjoy the great competition.
Back inside Turner Gymnasium on Wayne Prophet Court at halftime, all Hornets 45-10. Once again, we welcome you and yours inside the nest. I'm Joe Hutzler. This is Dr. Aaron Smith, and it's 45-10.
It is.
Lynchburg has done all that they have needed to do. They've taken advantage of any situation that Hollins has presented themselves. In this particular situation, first time being back to the tournament since 2015-2016. What can be said for Hollins? How do you make sure the next 20 minutes, you come away with something positive, something constructive for the future?
Well, Joe, they're going to have to do a lot more than they did in the first half. 10 points, not very good. Lynchburg's beating them in just about every meaningful category on offense and defense as well. And they've got to just come out and play with some pride, quite frankly. They've got to come out and say, you know what, this wasn't a fluke for us to make this tournament in the last, for the first time in the last 4 years. We're going to come out and play with some energy, and no matter what happens, we're going to go out and feel good about ourselves.
And this Hollins team has had some big wins on the season. A big reason why they are here with 11 wins this year. That's the most that they've had in the last 4 years. The last 3 years combined, almost, when you look at it. So it's not a complete fluke that they are here, but they need to have a better showing, certainly. Well, we'll see what kind of adjustments will be made and what can be done in the second half of play. We'll step aside, come right back, look a little bit at the ODAC tournament remaining schedule for the weekend.
The biggest thing that I've taken from Westover is probably my interactions with faculty. I started working with Dr. Fryer. He's always available for help, and he makes sure that I get to do the experiments and not just be there while he does them. I didn't want to limit myself when I came here to just taking the prereqs for med school. I wanted to get a full, well-rounded education, and I definitely found that in the Westover program. It's given me the opportunity to keep playing soccer at a competitive level, but also it's given me the ability to be a student and to pursue other activities such as EMS. "100% do Westover because it's not something they're going to regret, and it's going to be a lot of work, but so is everything else. It's just going to help build their education that they've already had and make them a better person for it." If I'm walking around over on the crowd side, I always hear someone yelling, "Hey Nat, take our picture. Hey Nat, get this," or something, or "Hey Nat, you got that shot?" So I'm always trying to photograph the crowds and my friends calling my name. I think sports at Lynchburg unifies us as a whole. No matter what background we come from, what differences we have, and what experience we've experienced through our lives, it brings us all together and we have one goal, which is to win. As a photographer, I definitely get to capture the emotion and the feel and the atmosphere of what's going on during the games and what's happening in the crowd and with the fans. We have hugely dedicated fans here at Lynchburg. They come out whether it's rain, snow, sleet, windy, no matter what, they will come out and support their team and cheer them on. They will sit through anything. It brings us all together as one.
I'm trying to do my homework.
I'm trying to get to level 6.
Seriously, come
All
on.
right, girls, I'm trying to watch my show.
There's a signal.
I'm going to fail.
Tired of trying to find your Wi-Fi?
I'm going to fail.
Introducing wall-to-wall Wi-Fi from Shentel, an enhanced network to extend your signal to nearly every corner of your home, not just one room. Try wall-to-wall Wi-Fi today. Call 1-800-SHENTEL to order.
I would definitely say to reach out. Me personally, I know several of my classmates would be more than happy to talk, to get a text, get a phone call, get an email, whatever it may be, and just answer any questions that you have. The faculty here, they're great, but of course coming in, sometimes it's better to hear it from a student than from a future professor. So reach out, nobody is afraid or unwilling to help. I would have loved to have someone to reach out to, and now that we're here, we are those people that they can reach out to. So feel free, ask questions. We're here to help you go through what we've just been through.
With over 100 local offices, Virginia Farm Bureau agents are part of your community. If you want insurance from a company that knows you, get to know us.
Welcome back to the ODAC Women's Basketball Tournament first round action. A look at some numbers at the break. You can see the score, which tells a big chunk of the story. Lynchburg turning it over a bit more than they would like to, but certainly happy with their numbers in every other category so far. We already have a winner today. Guilford defeated Virginia Wesleyan 62-37, so Guilford will play Washington and Lee on Thursday at 6 o'clock. The winner of this game will play Emory and Henry on Thursday at 1. And you see Shenandoah, Randolph-Macon, Roanoke, and Bridgewater at their respective times on Thursday. All action taking place at the Salem Civic Center in Salem, Virginia. And all games can be watched and listened to at odaconline.com. Step aside for 2 minutes. Come right back with our players of the half.
Let's face it, your gym is more than just a gym. You need a floor that can handle a pickup game or a PTA meeting with 15 minutes in between. Safe enough for a game-winning dive, but easy to clean after lunch. A healthier floor that encourages participation, not time on the sidelines. But more importantly, Omnisports is made with Tarkett's distinctive approach to sustainability and health. Today's gymnasium, the bar is set high. Meet those challenges with the ideal multi-use sports floor. Omnisports.
If you want to know your customers, shop where they shop. Live where they live. And spend time with them as neighbors. With over 100 local offices, Virginia Farm Bureau agents are part of your community. If you want insurance from a company that knows you, get to know us.
Our industry has been chasing this breakthrough for a decade, but we got there first. Not only is it ranked as the highest rated fiber in history, it delivers greater performance than any other field turf system ever built. Introducing Field Turf Core, the first multi-layer super fiber.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at Lena Clement's numbers: 4 points, 2 rebounds, and an assist in the first half to lead Hollins at the break. And on the other end for Lynchburg, Kate Kolb leading with 10 points and 6 rebounds in just her 8th start of the year, making the most of her chances early and often for Lynchburg.
Excellent play by both of those players to watch. Lemons has done an excellent job thus far, really just trying to put the team on her back. She's not going to start this half, but they needed her confidence and some of her rebounding ability. And again, she had 2 back-to-back scores earlier in that game.
Same starters for Lynchburg that began the game. As for Hollins, they will make 1 change, and they will begin with Yasmin Tyler out on the floor. Everyone else the same as they began. First play of the game, second half, and it's Quarles with a quick drive and score on the layup.
Nice take by Quarles there, able to find an opening inside the lane, able to finish it for 2.
We'll see what, if anything, Hollins can do differently to improve on the first half. That'll help Strange over top of the arms of Noe for 2 points. That gives her 4.
Well, you talk about what Hollins might be able to do differently, and we talked about this at halftime as far as you don't get this far just to get blown out, quite frankly. You need to have a good showing, just like Maggie Quarles there. 2 for 2 in this half for her, but you want to go out of this game and have a good showing so that you can have something to build on for next season.
Quarles already doubling up what she had in the first half of play. Well, totaling the same number that she had in the entire first half, I should say. Lizzie Davis, 8 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists in that first half of play for Lynchburg. She's also been a key component of their success tonight.
And she's been a key component of their success all season, and she's found herself in different places in the rotation due to, sometimes erratic play on the court. But again, you can't deny that that young lady plays to win.
Here she is, covered by Litton, and her pass to Quarles was connected, but Clements, who just checked back in, is charged for the foul. That's her second.
That's a tough cover there. Quarles coming off of those cuts. You saw her in the first half cutting and moving without the ball tremendously well, and there she is again in the post. And we've seen some of her post moves in this game, and we've seen them all season. She's excellent from that range.
Chambers gets her own rebound and decides to bring it out front. Try something else with a new shot clock. Davis drives baseline. Now it's Quarles. Shimmies, shakes, dishes, and a bad pass turns into the 11th turnover.
Yeah, a half second too late on that pass inside the Kolb, and Hollins was waiting for it.
Meanwhile, Hollins responds with a turnover of their own. And so Lynchburg will get it back as if nothing happened. Just a few seconds ticked off the clock. Jada Chambers, a Hornet of the Week last week for University of Lynchburg. Noe trying to work through the bottom, nothing there, so Chambers gets it back. Now it's Noe on the wing. Quarles escapes Clements for a moment, finds Kolb, takes the shot, and adds 2 more to her total.
Good shot, another good find there by Quarles. Oh, excellent steal there by Lizzie Davis, and again, she's good for just about one of those per game. We've seen it all season from her, and when teams aren't paying attention, she's able to swipe, create turnovers, cause havoc in the backcourt.
Hornets can't turn it into points this time as Kayla Searles drives, poked away by Chambers. Davis will push it, has Quarles ahead, kicks it to her in the corner for 3. Maggie Quarles. 7 points for Quarles in the first 3+ minutes.
That's a good pass there by Davis. I thought she might have missed Quarles on that transition opportunity. It was going to be a tough pass in the lane, but instead, Quarles flares out, gets a wide open 3.
On the other end, great take by Litton, who takes contact, makes the bucket, and has a chance at 3 points from the free throw line. Litton, a 68% free throw shooter, as Coach Dunton will make some changes. And so will Coach Pizek Smith, Annie Kelly, Abby Ogich, Aaron Green check in for the Hornets. One more look at that foul, and one for Litton. Coach Dunton's change was bringing Keenan Searles back in. And Litton misses the free throw. Hollins has struggled from there, 2 of 5 as a team.
Yeah, and they just are unable to find the bottom of the net throughout this entire game, and Lynchburg seems like they can do no wrong on the offensive end.
Initially thought it was a good strip, did Kayla Searles, but she's charged with the foul. That'll be her 3rd. So top scorer on your team for Hollins, now in some foul trouble.
Searles standing at 5'2". Great out-of-bounds play by Coach Isaac Smith and staff. You've heard me say this all season, Joe, that you earn your money by those baseline out-of-bounds plays. Those are high percent. You should be able to get high percentage shots out of those, and they're able to do it again right there.
Davis benefits. Now 10 points for her, and then turns around and picks up her second personal foul. Each team with 2 right now. Clements looks inside, not there. Wisely dishes it off.
Good help side defense on that play by Aaron Green, and Lynchburg just in the right place. Every play, Lizzie Davis that time comes away with the turnover. Able to get the ball back in Lynchburg possession.
Pass ahead to Annie Kelly. Green, 17-footer, too strong. Rips it away from Tyler, who gets it back. And then Clements is fouled by Davis on a slide by reach. And just like that, Lizzie Davis now with 3 personal fouls.
Yeah, she's going to have to be careful the rest of the way, even though Lynchburg may have this game sealed up nicely. You just want to be able to stay on the court and be able to continue to play and get into a flow, because, again, talk about this team being able to play on Thursday. You just want to be in a nice rhythm and a nice flow. You've got an hour bus ride to Salem, and it's just a different atmosphere when you get to that gym, so you want to be as loose as possible.
Keenan Searles from the Hollins bench. Her first bucket of the night is from long range.
Nice range for Searles, and both the sisters are known for their three-point shooting ability. Just like Chambers is known for her dribbling ability. Nice behind-the-back move there to get to the basket.
That's a move that the freshman will perfect over time, ending with points as the years go by. And Green is fouled on the rebound. Hit in the back of the head by Owens. First one charged to Owens. And our first media timeout, Coach, well, he might as well be a coach. President Guerin and his wife Sheila looking on. They're at every game, so why not? We'll step aside. 56-17, Lynchburg in control.
Through the whole application process, Dr. Bradney was really helpful about getting me through the process and everything like that. So it made it super easy to make a decision to come here to Lynchburg, and I've loved it ever since. Some of my favorite things are just how hands-on the classes are, and just being able to do things with my classmates and ask my professors any questions, and just go into clinicals and how hands-on it is there as well. They're always around, so it's not like they're strangers or anything like that, and they always just say that their office is open just to come by and even chat about life or anything else going on. It doesn't even have to be school related, so they're kind of just there as mentors and teachers as well, so it's kind of really nice to be able to work with them in that way rather than just as seeing them as teachers.
And a reminder to follow us, ODAC Athletics, for Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram users, or you can check out everything at any time by clicking over to odaconline.com.
Aaron Green out there having a little bit of fun with her teammates. It's easy to laugh when you're up by 39 points.
No doubt about it. Abby Ogich in some trouble. Gets away. And now the ball on the opposite side. Chambers down to Ogich in the end. She began the possession. She finishes. 2 more and 8 points for Abby Ogich.
Great hands there by Ogich. Able to hold on to the ball despite 2 Hollins defenders being in the vicinity. She's able to finish.
Searles sisters outside. Kayla with the drive and kick to Tyler for 2, and it bounces away into the hands of Kelly.
And Lynchburg He's done a good job, as mentioned before, in transition, and really they've gotten everything they wanted in the half court as well. Hollins just hasn't had enough on the defensive end to make things difficult for Lynchburg. Still shooting 62% on the night.
Owens picks up her second, and it's Hollins' fourth team foul of the quarter. And Sydney Strange will step back in for the green and gold. So Chambers will begin this possession for Lynchburg, but she picked up her dribble, needs some help. Green will take it. She'll take the three and drop it in for her second in as many attempts.
She's in double digits now with 10 points. Second three of the night, as you had mentioned. She's having herself a pretty good game.
3 Lynchburg players with 10 or more. Strange in the corner. Drives baseline, kicks it. Tyler gets a screen. Nice work by Tyler and Strange along that baseline for Hollins.
Agreed. That's nice strength by Tyler to get all the way to the basket and get one up. Get it in.
Ogich hounded by Clements. But Clements unable to keep her feet in step with Ogich, so she reaches in and charged with the foul. That's the 5th team foul. And that will put Abby Ogich at the free throw line. 43.5% free throw shooter. Did not play on Saturday, had strep throat this weekend. And Clemens had to step out of the game for Hollins. And so they'll substitute Cecilia Riddle, the lone senior for Hollins, into the game for the first time, as Ogich goes 1 for 2.
Good job there by Ogich, concentrating and making sure that second shot was a clean shot.
Shot missed and goes back to the visitors here.
Searles there looking on after the miss. Lynchburg has another opportunity on the offensive end.
Kelly drives, dishes to Noe, thought about it. Second time, yes, I'm going to take it. Misses. Green flies in for the rebound and put back.
Nice rebound there by Erin Green. That's her 8th rebound of the night. Excellent positioning and no block out there by Hollins.
2:10 to go in the third quarter of action. Lynchburg warming up for their game on Thursday afternoon as Kelly's shot is missed. They will play Emory and Henry, the 1 seed, at 1 o'clock on Thursday. They played the Wasps way back on December 7th and lost by 8 here at home.
It was a good contest there, and again, different atmosphere down at the Salem Civic Center. And so, you know, really, we talk about Hollins and you know, this is their first time to the tournament. I mean, this is first time to the tournament since 2015, 2016. And obviously, this is a, you know, preliminary game where you have to play on the road. But Hollins, as they continue to build this program, they need to make it down to Salem. It's just a different atmosphere. It's a different gym than any of the other ODAC gyms as well, even though it's right, you know, up the street, quite frankly, from Roanoke College. And as Hollins continues to grow, they've got to make it down to Salem to play a game.
Well, much like the odd time of playing on a Monday, Lynchburg might have a bit of even balance with Emory and Henry, regardless of the seating on Thursday at 1 o'clock on a school day.
Right.
It's going to be an odd time. That big gym won't be that full either. So there's some aspects of that may help out a Lynchburg team that on paper is slated to not make it past Thursday afternoon.
Well, you're right about that, Joe. I remember playing in that gym. It's big, it's cold.
Cold.
It is, and when you're playing in the afternoon, again, with not a tremendous amount of fans because it's a work day and it's just not in the evening when basketball games normally are, as I mentioned before, it's just a different atmosphere. And it's one that as a player, you've got to get used to. It's just not, that's not a, people say basketball is basketball, and it is. The rim is always going to be 10 feet. Free throw line's always going to be 15 feet away, all that good stuff. But the venue does matter.
Depth perception can really affect things when shooting. So those practice times for these teams will be crucial on Thursday morning.
Yeah, and you get a limited amount of time to practice out there as well, so you just try to get as many shots up as you can. And in fact, actually one of the things I remember as a player out there, you tried to find the dead spots in the floor because the ball doesn't bounce quite as well in some areas of that floor as others. And so that was one of the things I used to do as a guard, is just walk around and dribble.
And then you realized you should have been shooting a little bit in practice too, right?
That's the truth. I probably should have got some shots up.
Third quarter in the books here. First round action. Lynchburg leads Hollins 66-22.
The biggest thing that I've taken from Westover is probably my interactions with faculty. I started working with Dr. Fryer. He's always available for help, and he makes sure that I get to do the experiments and not just be there while he does them. I didn't want to limit myself when I came here to just taking the prereqs for med school. I wanted to get a full, well-rounded education, and I definitely found that in the Westover program. It's given me the opportunity to keep playing soccer at a competitive level, but also it's given me the ability to be a student and to pursue other activities such as EMS. I 100% do Westover because it's not something they're going to regret, and it's going to be a lot of work, but so is everything else. It's just going to help build their education that they've already had and make them a better person for it.
We've talked a lot about the women's basketball tournament. As you take a look at the score by quarter here tonight, Hollins with their most advantageous quarter of the game with 12 points in that third. Of course, the men's basketball tournament begins this week too. It starts tomorrow night with 2 first-round matchups. Bridgewater is at Hampton-Sydney. That's the 9 versus the 8 at 7 o'clock. And then number 10, Emory and Henry, faces number 7, Ferrum College at 7. Congrats to Ferrum on hosting in just their second year as an ODAC school. Randolph-Macon was your 1 seed. Virginia Wesleyan was your 2 seed. 3 seed is W&L. 4 was Guilford. 5 is Roanoke. And 6 is Lynchburg. That Lynchburg W&L game will be on Friday at 8 p.m. So the women get the first game of the quarterfinals, and the men get the last game of the quarterfinal round. Blocked by Taylor on Green, and then it goes off the shoulder of Green as well. Great start to the quarter for Hollins.
And a good call there by the referee. Good eye, standing right there on the baseline. With Hollins, we talk about the best quarter they had, and they're starting to warm up a little bit in this game. Might be too little too late. They had 12 points in that quarter, which was more than they had in the entire first half.
And just very unfortunate when you look at the amount of shots they have taken. 5 more than Lynchburg. They've taken 47 and only made 9 of those shots from the floor. Carolyn Noe has made 2 from long distance.
Yeah, nice shot there by Noe. And we talk about her shooting ability often. The lone senior on the team. I tell you what, this is one of those things too. You start taking your home crowd for granted when you go down there to that tournament. You talk about playing at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. There's not a whole lot of folks there. You missed the home cooking for sure, even though it's only an hour away from Lynchburg. This will be Caroline Noe's last game in this gym.
Yes, it will. She will walk across the stage in early May out on the Dell. As she dishes out to Chambers for 3. That's good. The Hornets 8 of 12 from beyond the arc tonight. Well above their average at 65%.
This is one of the best shooting nights I've seen Lynchburg have, and against Hollins, it's not putting up a whole lot of resistance when it comes to Lynchburg's offense, and as a result, they let them fly. They're getting them to go.
Chambers has hit 2 tonight. She's only made 6 on the year before the start of this one. She'll take another. And misses that one slightly. And last touched by Johnson. Hollins will get it back. Each team making changes. Kate Kolb steps back in. Sydney Strange for Hollins. And Yasmin Tyler for the green and gold as well. And one more. Cheslin Owens will make another appearance.
Well, I like that shot by Chambers. And also, whenever you're ending a possession with a shot, it's a good thing. Lynchburg has 14 turnovers in this game, and Hollins hasn't really converted off of the turnovers. Only 4 points converted off of those 14 turnovers for Lynchburg. And really, Hollins just hasn't been able to get anything going on the offensive end all night. 22 points, 50-point game at the moment. And Lynchburg really needs this against that Emory and Henry team just to be able to go into that tournament with confidence and say, you know, we're really a good shooting team.
Kayla Searles can't connect. Searles scoreless tonight. That is very rare for her. She averages 16.5 per game.
Well, Joe, you didn't ask me this, but I was thinking about it when I said Lynchburg going into that game. As far as, you know, them looking at how well they shoot or how well they have shot in this game, is it fool's gold? That's the question you didn't ask.
Yeah.
So if you go into the game against Emory and Henry, can you go in with a false sense of confidence? Well, Joe, I think that sometimes can be possible, but we talk about how much confidence matters out there, and while they may not have as much space, you know, they might not be as wide, the shots might not be as wide open, but at least they'll take them, and they'll have the confidence that they'll make them. Mm-hmm. So fool's gold? I don't think so.
I think I'm going to just hang up my mic and take off for the next 6:40. Great point brought up, no doubt, and possibly a question that I'll mention in our post-game interview. Don't know who that'll be just yet. Kate Kolb is in the running for it as a travel was called before that shot made by Tyler. If you're interested in watching that post-game interview, head over to facebook.com/Lynchburg Sports about an hour after this one is completed. Or you can find it right here on the LHSN YouTube channel as well.
I will tell you one thing, though, that I would be concerned about if I was on the staff for the women's basketball team. 15 turnovers for Lynchburg, and Hollins hasn't really pressured them as much as Emory and Henry is going to in this game. So when you think about it from that aspect, you gotta be able to hold on to the ball.
After that scrum, the officials get together and confirm with each other that Sarah Johnson actually traveled first. Here's another look at it. She turns in to Tyler, and somewhere in there, her feet moved when they weren't supposed to. Very fortunate that both players come away unscathed after that.
Absolutely. That's the last thing you want, actually, for either team. Lynchburg, as they go into the tournament, don't want to go down a player. She is giving Lynchburg a lot of great minutes. And if you're Hollins, you certainly don't want to lose a player in the last game either.
And relatively for Lynchburg, as far as those that get a lot of playing time, they are the healthiest they've been all year long. So certainly can't afford to have somebody go down this late in the game. Carolyn Noe, give me all three of these one more time. 11 points in her final game on Wayne Prophet Court.
Nice shooting by Noe. 3 threes for her.
Foul before the shot. Searles will get continuation and head to the free throw line looking for her first points of the afternoon, now evening. Coach Dunton there on your screen behind the official. Got to give her a lot of credit for what she's been able to do in just 2 seasons with Hollins. You look at some of the wins they had this year, but just in terms of totals, 2016-17, 5 wins. 17-18, 4 wins. Coach Dutton comes in. They get 7 wins a year ago, 11 wins this season. Things continue to go up with the green and gold with Dutton at the helm.
Well, Dutton has been a decorated player herself. You mentioned she played at Randolph, and Noe with another big-time 3, 14 points for her, 4 threes in there as well. Coach Dutton, 3rd all-time in the Virginia High School League in assists at local Brookville High School, so she understands success.
Kayla Searles answering. Big shot from Noe with her first field goal of the night. Noe with 4 made threes. See if they try to get it back to her again. They do, but she's covered. So they go inside to Johnson, poked away by Keenan Searles. The steal, then it's poked away by Kelly.
Nice job by Lynchburg. Actually, nice job by both teams on the defensive end. And Lynchburg and Noe, you know, she's got that look in her eye.
I thought for sure.
Yeah, give me that ball back.
She had plenty of space between her and the defender. 10 seconds to shoot, 4 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. Noe drives and is fouled on the pass attempt. That is the first foul of the quarter for Hollins. First time that has been the case. 3:54 to go. All Lynchburg. One more break for us. Back in a flash.
First thing would definitely be make a plan and write it down. And, you know, get with your classmates and put your brains together. One thing about a cohort style group, study group is perfect because when you put multiple brains together, you get a really good big brain. It gives us a great balance. It teaches us responsibility. It's never too easy, but we're put in a position where we're going to get better, we're going to learn, and we have to take time to get responsible and do the work. But we also have to learn how to manage our time with clinical rotations as well. But I think everything is well put together, as in the course load and as well as the clinical education. And when you put that together, you make great athletic trainers.
Next up for us on the Lynchburg Hornet Sports Network, we've got Lynchburg baseball against Greensboro, a last-minute addition this afternoon. That takes place at 3 o'clock on Wednesday from Fox Field. And that'll be right here on the LHSN YouTube channel. Our first visit to the Diamond for baseball in 2020.
Speaking of first visits, Joe, I had my first visit the other day in all my years that I've been at the University of Lynchburg / Lynchburg College. I had never seen a tennis match.
Oh, really?
Went down there.
Picked a good day to go.
I did pick a good day to go. It was not actually. It was a lot of fun. I dabbled in a few other sports besides basketball as well.
And tennis being one of those?
No, tennis was not. No, tennis was not.
I was waiting for that sequence of.
No, but I tell you what, Kate Cole there, and you always get a little nervous, especially when players with injury history go down and she's able to get back up. The help of her teammate and head directly to the free throw line.
That is very good news. See Kolb stand up and go to the free throw line where she's 2 for 2 today. And just to expound more onto your point about checking in on tennis this past weekend, 9-0 wins for both men and women against Ferrum in the season opener. This is a program that since Chris Johnson has became the head coach, the director for tennis, turned things around pretty quickly last year, advancing the furthest they've ever gone in the women's tennis ODAC tournament, and trying to build off of that this season.
Then you understand he's a ringer in bowling too.
Oh yeah, Chris Johnson, he's going to get you on those country club sports, man.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough, I think maybe 2 years ago, to play on his team. Fortunate enough to play on his team. At a bowling tournament here in town, and man, that guy, it was President Guerin, myself, Dr. Pat Aronson in athletic training, and and him, and I tell you what, we won solely because of him.
Lynchburg not winning solely because of one player. It has been a balanced attack tonight against Hollins from the very beginning. They have 6 players in double digits as Clements tries to get fancy and turns it over.
Coach Dutton. That's not even funny because, I mean, I just saw Coach Dutton look at the bench and point at somebody else.
Oh,
It's time to get in there. He was not liking that. Back behind the back pass.
Noe with her 7th three. Misses that one. And here comes that substitution you mentioned. Clements stepping off. The freshman will head out, and the senior, Cecilia Riddle, will check in. Good to get the senior in there for the last 3 minutes or so. And what will be her final game as a basketball player for Hollins. She'll graduate in May with a degree in international studies and a minor in social justice.
That's some excellent data, Joe. I'm just over here just laughing and having a good time. You're talking about some real stuff.
Yeah, you're supposed to bring the entertainment, though. I'm supposed to be buttoned up, bring the stats.
I'm going to tell you something. I'll tell you why I laughed at that, because I just remember as a player, and I also remember as a coach. Doing exactly that. Like when somebody does something that you don't like, just turn it to the bench. And as a player, when you see something that you know coach doesn't like, you automatically look up at the coach and say, which one of us are going in?
This is my turn now.
Yep, that's exactly what you think.
2:20 to go. Again, Lynchburg will play on Thursday at 1 p.m. against the Wasps of Emory and Henry, who have been in a tight battle at the top of the conference all season long with the Generals of Washington and Lee and even the Eagles of Bridgewater College, who have fallen off a bit here late in the year. They've lost 3 of their last 4 to finish the season. But the Wasps and the Generals, along with the Yellow Jackets, are the cream of the crop right now. E&H with 4 straight wins, W&L with 3 straight, and Randolph-Macon with the most. They've won their last 6, and they won 8 of their last 10 to finish the 2019-2020 season. So even though they are a 4 seed, they might be your favorites going into Thursday.
Yeah, they're certainly a force to be reckoned with. And I'll tell you what, thinking about that Emory and Henry team, Lynchburg, lost to them earlier in the season, as you had already mentioned, by 9 points. You take a look at Hollins. Hollins actually beat Emory and Henry by 5. So by using logic like that, Joe, who wins?
Well, based on what I've seen, I'm still going to have to favor the Wasps. They are number 1 for a reason.
I'll tell you what, I recall that game, and Lynchburg played pretty well. They had to take care of the ball. And actually, I think you and I said off air on that game, and especially because I think they still had a pretty good record at the time, but they're not unbeatable.
For sure, no question about that. And Lynchburg also didn't have the lady that was just on our screen, Kate Kolb, at that point. I mean, Lynchburg's rotation, having Green and Ogich and Kolb, even Sarah Johnson getting playing time as a freshman, that's going to mean a lot come Thursday as Kolb continues to have a great evening. 14 points for number 14.
Well, what you just saw from Kolb is one of the reasons why she's a difference maker. 2 Hollins players underneath the basket, and she just reaches up, out-rebounds them both without getting a foul call, and is able to put the ball right back in. And again, if she can give you 8 to 10 points in that game and 6 to 8 rebounds, I mean, that's excellent production.
One thing I forgot to mention when mentioning Randolph-Macon being a 4 seed, they do have to play Shenandoah on Thursday, the defending ODAC champions, as Kolb continues to add more points to her stat sheet. So, first of all, it's not a gimme for the Yellow Jackets on Thursday, but also thanks to what Shenandoah did last year, these teams in the 7th and 8th spot, Guilford and Lynchburg, they know that it can be done. The impossible is not just that. They can actually shock some folks and do maybe what Shenandoah did a year ago.
Well, all you have to do is believe, Joe. I mean, paper says one thing always, but that's why you play the game on the court, and that's why you give your best effort on the court, because you just don't know what can happen. Somebody, I mean, God forbid, somebody can go down with an injury, but somebody also can just have a bad game, and your team can be on fire. I mean, anything can happen on any of these nights. That's why I love the game. That's why I love sports.
Oh yeah, any sport, doesn't matter. As Lena Clements proves why she needs to be out there for Hollins. 9 points for her. And a similar score to the year that Hollins made the ODAC tournament. Lynchburg's final game of the regular season against Hollins was right around this number, as it was all Lynchburg tonight. The Hive has spoken, and the Hornets take care of Hollins 84-32, your final here in the first round of the 2020 ODAC Women's Basketball Tournament. Carolyn Noe, 14 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists in her final game as a Hornet on Wayne Prophet Court. Got to feel good for her, and if you're Lynchburg, you're hoping that this was not fool's gold tonight, and you're going to be feeling good heading into Thursday.
Well, absolutely right, and you know, you do want to feel good, and this is the last time they'll be playing here this season, and I think looking at their faces and looking at these highlights, you can tell Lynchburg is going to feel very good about themselves, very confident going down to the Salem Civic Center.
Don't forget to tune in to the post-game interview at facebook.com/Lynchburg Sports and at lynchburgsports.com. For Dr. Aaron Smith and the entire LHSN student-led crew, I'm Joe Hutzler, wishing you and yours a wonderful rest of your week, and we'll be happy to talk to you again soon.